però
si è scritto,
adesso sì.
è arrivato, va bene. Allora, dicevo, Enrica mi dà gentilmente... Enrica is kindly giving me 5 minutes that there was another piece of information that I wanted to give you. But again, maybe I was too optimistic and hoping to be able to do that much. And so I just present you the first slide, I mean the topic, then I will put the slides on the website, and if you want to look at them and if you have questions, I'm here for this week and the next. So we can have what in Italian is called a ricevimento anytime you want at the end of the school. For if you have questions, clarifications. So let me share my screen, which should be, I guess, this one. So what you are seeing on this screen?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Aspetta, let's okay.
So
Digital
you see
libraries and the web parallel evolution.
Yes. So now the topic of the presentation is that, I mean, the web, given what I was saying this morning, you can think that there's a huge library. And at some point in time, especially at the beginning, there was this false belief that if you need to find something, you go on the web. And if you don't find it with Google, it does not exist. So, which is I don't think that is real, but that was a popular belief. But however, the point is that the libraries and the web have encountered the same problems and have solved them more or less in the same way, except that the libraries, it took about 300 years somehow to reach the point where they are today. And the web took about 30 years to reach the point where we are today. And the main problems that I've depicted here, the first one is the description, how you are going to describe the content of the library. And clearly the word of the libraries, they defined all the notion of the bibliographic records and the catalogs. And then they defined a well-known standard called MARC, machine readable catalog, to exchange information. The web has done the same, meaning that soon, very soon, in the early 2000s, actually at the end of the 90s, they found that it was necessary to describe the resources of the web. And they defined the concept of metadata, which is exactly the same as the notion of a bibliographic record. And then they invented another, let me say, standard to describe resources in the web, which is Dublin Core. Interoperability, the exchange of this bibliographic information. The web, the libraries defined a very bulky and heavy protocol, but really rich in functionality. Again, for the time that it was defined in the 90s, it had really a lot of forwarding views. And the web has solved this very simply with the OAI PMH, which is a protocol for exchanging metadata between libraries or between the service providers. This is the most interesting one, the conceptual models, because again, when the network arrived, the libraries felt the need to move beyond the bibliographic record, because that was really describing just one unit, the document. But the idea was, why don't we build a model of the library world so that we can, at this point, really expand the notion of the bibliographic card. And they defined and invented the functional records for bibliographic records. Today, I mean, the latest version is called the library reference model, which is a conceptual model to describe the content of a library, in which you have somehow the link. I mean, the main idea behind this model is that you have links among different bibliographic records. So from one bibliographic record, you can link to others. And this is what we've seen this morning. The web has more or less done the same with the RDF and the semantic web, meaning defining a way so that you can link resources that are available in the web. And finally, the last point in which there is this complete analogy is that the information retrieval, meaning being able to retrieve the documents in the library, just providing a few words for that you are interested for as a query. That was, let me say, solved not just by the library, but the computer science with this information retrieval, which is a full branch of computer science, but it is being used by the libraries to find the content of the catalog. So you provide the name of an author and something more, and the search engine will give you back all the documents that are relevant for this query. The same is the information retrieval in the web, which everybody knows Google. I mean, I don't think that we could live in the web without Google. And however, the search engines in the web has one advantage more in the fact that they know that the documents in the web are not just documents, but they are web pages linked one to another. So in addition to the relevance, which is based only on the content as it is being done in the libraries, in the web, the search algorithms in the web will take into account the content of the page, but also the relevance of this page in terms of popularity, meaning how many other pages are pointing to this one. So this is the so-called page rank algorithm, was invented by two young students in '95, Larry Page and Sergey Brin. They are not visible as the other ones, but they are very rich because they sold the the patent to Stanford University, and which is the way in which search engines all work today. So this is really the brief summary. And why, let me say, at the beginning of the century, in some sense, it seemed really that there was some friction between the library world and the web. Today, I think that they are taking advantage one of the other, meaning that the web has inherited, and the search engines in the web have inherited all the wealth of the authority files that have been developed in the library world over the last 50 or so years. And the libraries have inherited or are taking advantage of this new semantic web and linked data in order to expand the catalog outside just the limit of the catalog itself. So this is the content of the presentation. You have a look, and if you have questions, you let me know. Okay, Enrica, thank you very much for your time. I am done.
You're welcome. Okay.
I stop the screen as soon as I find again where is the window of here. Stop the screen. Done.
Okay. So this morning you learned something more about computer app and mainly the web. In comparison to yesterday afternoon, I'd like to go and see some example, a real example of DH project. So yesterday we faced some major aspect item of the DH world. So actually yesterday we asked yourself, we wonder why we are doing what we want to do, how to do it, which kind of tools use, and for which for which meaning, for which aim. Now we try to go deeper and try to look at some example. Of course, they are only examples, but I ask you, as yesterday, to interact with me, to stop me when you want, in order to ask, oh, but this is possible, how it is possible to do it, what I need to do this, okay? This is the solution that I need, what I need to learn it, or what is better, this or this? So please stop me and ask. Okay. Then at the end, we will do a discussion just like yesterday, because I think that confronting our ideas after learning something, after seeing some example, is the best way to clarify our mind. So try to understand if what we think is right or not, is possible or not possible, right? Okay, now I share my screen. Spero. Okay. Okay, we are here. Okay, real DH projects. Okay, the first that I wish to show you, and I think that this is interesting for several of you, is one of my biggest project of these years, last 5 years. That is the edition of a manuscript of the 12th century. No, sorry, 13th century. And now, okay, this is only a picture, but I go and I show you the real project, because it's the only way to understand what it is. Okay. Okay, first of all, I wanted to make the edition, critical digital edition, so sort of I wanted to make in the web what we usually can read in a library, so a critical edition of a medieval source. The reason for the choice are several. It's not there is no use to take them now in account, but I needed to have this edition split in two parts. One that in the traditional way you can make equal to the introduction and explanation of all the manuscript and the stuff and the criteria used for the publication, and is this site. And the other that you can reach here, but I have already opened, is the edition itself. It has been made by a software, open source software made inside the university. The name is EVT, and is free for all. The version that I used here is the 1.0. There is a version 2, but it has been left aside for some reason. Now they are working to the version 3, and I'm waiting for the version 3 in order to change also this edition. So what I had this object, a manuscript, something that most of you know very well. So a book made in parchment. What's the name in English of pergamena? Parchment.
Parchment.
Parchment. And it's a big one. It's a big book with inside 528 documents copied during the 13th century. Okay. And so the first thing to do was the digitization of the pages. And here I actually I couldn't do nothing because the relationship with archive were not so good, so easy, in order to have a professional service. So this is trying to collect tips for you. This is one, okay, one issue, a very important issue about doing a digital humanities project is dealing with the owners, dealing with who wants to do something, but he or she doesn't know very well what, and you have to explain what the institution, the archives, the library, the single person can do or cannot do. How much does it cost? What you need to have? This is not an easy task to accomplish. So please consider in your project that the relationship with the commitment, the society, the world that asks you something is crucial, is not is not secondary. Okay, so so if you you can easily see here that almost every picture of this manuscript have the is not professional, because you see the end of the photograph on the border. So actually now I could ask to do again all the photograph, but I'm not bold enough to do it, and so I take this photo that is in a high definition. It's not wonderful, but is enough in order to read the manuscript. So in this software AVT allows you to see on a side of the screen, normally on the left, but it's not compulsory, of course, the images of your sources, and you can go around and see other pages of the same sources, and ecco, c'è un errore, and this is very, this is not good. Okay, believe me, you can. I don't know why. What's the problem? Sorry, I leave this. Proprio oggi. Yeah. Scusate, sorry.
Non ho idea di come ti posso aiutare.
No, certo, c'è qualche cosa che non va.
Ah no, ma c'è qualcosa che non va allora nel sistema, perché io stavo facendo in parallelo, stavo cercando di aggiornare il sito della scuola e mi è venuta la stessa schermata perché non mi fa vedere una pagina. E invece di questa pagina mi è venuto questo Sonic Wall.
C'è qualche problema. Aspetta, magari mi connetto con...
Io guarda, sono
no,
connesso.
c'è un problema di accesso. Aia. Vediamo un attimo se me lo fa caricare. No, perché funzionava tutto ieri sera. So.
Beh, certamente.
Everything's worked yesterday evening, so I'm sure it is.
No, almeno il mio è ripartito, riprova. Se fai un
Sì,
reload e
infatti.
riprovi.
Okay, he is okay. Instead, the site is reloaded the contents. I show you what I put in the website. Okay, there is the website and the digital edition. In the website there is the description, codicology description. A lot of things that normally are in the introduction of a critical edition. Here they are explain the criteria and what I wanted to show you later, the text encoding of the text and the characteristic of the software used, that I repeat is open source. So after you can actually take now this kind of software and do your digital edition, given that you know, of course, how to set the software on the server and how to make the right text encoding. Waiting, okay, this is charged, so I try to go in another documents. Let's see if it works. Okay, so if I change, as I said you, the project make the edition of more than 500 of documents, so you can choose which document to see, and automatically on the left side you can see in high definition your manuscript and read it. You see that in the right side you have the critical apparatus of the source, and if I push this button, I have this transcription of the source itself. Of course, I can change the output. So here is the choose. I choose images and text. But if I choose this, I can have some other feature here. And if I choose this, I have only the images of the text. But how can I do it? Okay, and it's not only question of the software that is able to show page and text all together and simultaneously. So changing the page, change the text. But if you look at here in the right side, you can see that something is different in the text. So there is text in black and text in another color. If you move the arrow, there is something that is highlighting itself, okay, and in different color or order. Here there is a name, here a place, here a date, okay. So for one thing that I can do, I can, for instance, tell to highlight what I'm searching. Okay, now you see that everything is highlighted, and this allow the reading, the facilitate the reading of the text. But there is more, of course. So this is a place, and I can click on the place, and I see all the documents where the place is. Here we are in the document 38, that is this, but if I go there, I found the same place. You see here, Silvaricem, okay? The same is with the name, okay? This is the common name, so there are a lot of documents where the name Guglielmo exists, but here there is a particular Guglielmus, that is a presbyter, and is present in two documents, the 105 and the 449. So here I can go and find this Guglielmo Presbitero, and see that another possibility of enlightenment is okay, that is the job, okay, the title, and so on. And here try to navigate the edition, and I have also what in a normal paper edition are the summaries, the apparatus who allows you to research personal names, places, and other things. In this edition now it's possible to have the list of people, of places, of family. So for instance, if I go in a big family, I found all the members of this family listed. And if I go in, if I click in a person, I can see where this particular person is present. I can have also a list of entities, institutional entities, so religious and civic entity, and peoples. There are only two, and have a chronological index that can I change from the more ancient time to more recent times, or the other way around. Okay, these are something that you can do. There is no all that you can do, but I think that it's something. I don't know what you think, because there are a few critical edition with all this possibility of research. Of course, I can also search a sequence of words. So, for instance, if I search star, because I'm searching for starium, that is a measure for grains, for some particular product, agricultural products. So I found that, of course, there are a lot of outcome related to my search, okay, that is not listed in the list. Another thing that we did is this. You see that these are copies of document, and there is the signum of the person who transcribed, no, who wrote originally the document, and who copied the document, copied also his sign. This sign gave the authentication of the document. Okay, this particularity you can see enlarged in the edition, but you can also see a sort of gallery of all these signs in the site. Okay, sorry, it's a little bit slow, but these are the list of the notaio, not notars. What's a notaio in English? Okay, these are all of the signs of these people here listed. Okay, there are other things that it's not easy to put in EVT, and as for instance, this is only an ongoing project. That is the way to show the meaning of the single words. Of course, not all the words, of course. The words that can that can be difficult to translate or to understand. Okay, for instance, this. Okay, and so we studied the etymology, and we tried to put the his meaning inside the document studied, and also make the link directly to the document itself, where the term exists. Another thing that we did, but it's not, I don't think is not really satisfying by now. This is still an ongoing project, is the timeline. And but I show you only because it's another thing that you can see. You can think that is useful for your project, for your edition or DH project, and is in fact a timeline where I can move in time, and you see there are different symbols, because this is the part related to the document. This is a part related to an event, a particular thing that happened, and the thing is a particularity of a medieval document, the authentica, so when the copy of the document was authenticated officially. Okay, I don't know if you have some question about this edition, but what the first question that maybe you can do is how do it apart of the EVT EVT software. Why a part of EVT software? Perché the EVT software take what you do and put it online in a way that in the way that you wish. Okay, I wanted to have this, but I have to give the software something in order that he understand that I want this output and not another output, right? Understand? Questions? Okay, the answer is the text encoding. So all of the now I open the software, but now I show you the text encoding of the Codice Pallavicino, that here in the site is explained. So this is something that is not normally present in a traditionalization, but is actually one of the big scientific issues of a digital critical edition. Okay, what in a traditional edition and paper edition are the editorial criteria that should be explained in the introduction. Here you have not only the editorial criteria, but you have to put also the text encoding criteria that you choose, because you have a large possibility of choosing one or two or three way to make this text encoding. So you have to explain why you have chosen this instead of that. Okay, and here is explained. When when this is open, this is a software that there are several softwares, right? Just like Oxygen. Oxygen is one of the best, in my opinion, that allows you to work on the text encoding. So to put the right tagging on the text, it's a little bit ok. No, questo non lo voglio. Okay, okay. Because the last document I opened was very large. Okay, welcome, not welcome. I think it's coming. Bene. Non mi si apre, perché non mi si apre, non lo so. Eccolo qua. Okay, this is one of the several documents of the Codice per la Vicino Digital Edition. I will say that it's with an encoding UTF-8 that we saw yesterday. And what normally I want to show only a few things. This possibility to put a tag before and after the things that you are interested to study, to enlighten, to make them make the output make a particular output. Okay, this is, for instance, the paragraph. Okay, this is the date. Because, for instance, if you go in a date here, okay, this is a date. If I click the date, I have the date transformed in the common use. So I have die Iovis qui fuit quindecim intrante mense marzi, feliciteranno nativitate eius millesimo duecentesimo. I have here that is 1200 March 15. Okay, and so on. So this is the date. This is the tag of the personal name. This is the tag of the place. Okay. Why I wanted to show this for two reasons. The first is because this, in my opinion, is one of the best solutions to make the critical edition of some kind of sources. Not only medieval, of course, classical, medieval, early modern, okay, manuscript in particular. This is a quite a very useful tool. But when I studied the Middle Ages, I didn't learn text encoding, and now historians, classical historian, medieval historian, normal historian, they didn't learn text encoding. So what did I? Okay, I learned this. What does this mean? What does it mean that I knocked at the door of my colleague and asked, please, can I attend your classroom? Can I learn? And I learned text encoding. Uh, but how much I learned? Not so much. Okay, so I actually now I'm not able, or I could be able, but I'm not really able to create from zero a critical digital edition. Okay, I'm not able to set the EVT software in a server. I'm not able to build a complete edition on a server. I'm not able, and actually I'm not interested to be able to. I don't know if I'm clear. I come back to you because I want now have a sort of confrontation with you. Se ci riesco magari anche. Chiudo qua. Okay, I come back. So I need a sort of confrontation with you with this point, because in my opinion it's crucial. I could, of course, because my brain normally works, for now it works. So if I wanted to be able to set up an entire complete edition, okay, after maybe 1 year of study, I could. If I wanted to learn how to set and to change EVT, because remember, EVT is open source software. So what does it mean? It means that there is a community of people. If you ask, but I wanted this, I wish this, they actually can improve the software, and they did, because, for instance, I need here now the possibility to show the structure of the manuscript. Okay. And so they actually now they are setting the routine in order to allow me to show the structure of the manuscript from the codicology point of view. And this is something that I asked, and it means that there are someone who is working on the code in order to allow me this. Okay, I am able to do this, not at all. Okay, but I am not interested to. I am interested to understand enough of text encoding and of the software in order to talk with these peoples and make them understand what I want, and understand what they are telling to me. They are saying to me, okay, this is possible, this is not, because of this reason, because of this problem. And they tell me, okay, I suggest you to change the tag, or to improve the tags that you choose in order to have another output. Okay, if they ask me to change the coding of my text, so if they ask, okay, don't change this paragraph, adding a new features, I am able to. Okay, so I'm not able to work in the very complex and complete way on the coding, but I am able to correct a mistake. I'm able to add something. I'm able to understand if something doesn't work, why it doesn't work. Or if I don't understand why something doesn't work, to ask in a correct way and understand the answer. This is my opinion, the right level. Okay, because you cannot become an expert in everything, but you have to understand enough in order to achieve your aims, achieve what you want to achieve. I don't know if this is clear. I'd like to know what you think about.
Yeah, I'm Elia. I think that this is very interesting, and in this sense, what I understand that is that the use of free softwares is basic for this kind of work, because it's impossible to ask to Microsoft or this kind of international reality to modify a software to go at a to hide your needing of study.
Yes, yes and no. Of course, it depends on what you want to do. If you, I prefer open source software for the reason that I told you. Okay, because of I think that the digital humanist is someone who go to investigate farther and farther in seeing what he or she can do, that normally he or she are every on the frontiers. So he looks farther. He looks how can I change this? How can I do more? Okay, this is the spirit of the research. And this means having the possibility to put your hands on, to put your hands in. Okay. But of course, this is the research part. You can also choose other solution, also proprietary solution, because the cost in terms of work in the open source field is too big, and the private solution satisfy your needs. You have to, there is no ideological position. It is only a question that's what you want really to do. So for instance, you can choose the open source solution for the reason that I told you. So put your hands into the system. That is also the spirit of the humanist, because the humanist doesn't take everything for granted. The humanists want to change the reality, but there are also other solutions. You can, I don't know, work for someone that wants a website and use a proprietary tool for the website, and inside the website to put something that is on open source, because suits you well. So not ideological position, but only something that is very concrete. What you want to do, what you want to achieve. This is why. But my position is in any case, if you choose for the proprietary, so for instance, Oxygen, I don't think it's open source. I paid it for, okay? So I paid for this software, Oxygen, in order to do my job, okay? This is normal. But the problem is how much I have to know, how much I have to learn. First of all, you have to continuously be in a learning mode. Okay, you have the lifelong learning mode is a constant, and I give it for sure. Okay, but the other is how much I have to learn. Okay, I have to become expert in text encoding. Not necessary. Okay, I have to be expert in transforming a VT. I think no, this is not necessary at all. Okay, but I want to be able to speak with my team. In order to look at the team. No, interrompi la condivisione, non volevo interrompere la condivisione. I show you my team. And because yesterday we talk a lot about the team, and actually this is the team. So it looks like the end of a movie, so a lot of things, and you say different competencies. So who among you knows how it works, a transcription and edition of a source? Here are the people who did the transcription, okay, and put the notes of the text, the critical part. Here's the text encoding, revision of text encoding, software, website, collaborators, so people who did most part of the text encoding of the every single documents. And something of new, I think, I put it, I show this now, but it's something that maybe we'll talk about later. You see these people? These people are scholar and not scholar. Okay, I show you this thing because I actually built this site as also as an interface in order to try to involve public in the reading of this manuscript. You say, okay, you are full. I think you think, okay, how many people is interested in reading a medieval manuscript? Okay, a bunch of people. A bunch of people. Why? Because this manuscript is the most important sources of the medieval time in my country. That is between Ligury and Tuscany. And there are a lot of places, minor and major places. You have seen, you saw them, no? And names of people. So the local communities is normally very interested in knowing the history of his place, the history of his family, the history of the inhabitants of the region, town and so on. So I try to involve people to help me in the edition. The first choice was to insist to the word, okay, making be involved, only not only with contacts, okay, but also with comments and an explanation of which kind of comments I needed. And you see, only on the web, but the web is only a part of this situation, of his choice. Okay, for a medieval text, I assure you that 102 comments are a lot. Okay, but I didn't do only this. I normally use to make a sort of a blog on the site, and this communication I put it only on the social network, asking for help. Okay, not a general social network, but in selected groups. I asked for help. This is another thing that is not useful among scholars. Normally, when we have a critical edition on paper, the critical edition is fixed, and maybe there are a sort of errata corrige in the end of the book, but not really more possible. And who is printing the book thinks that the work is done, is well done. Okay, maybe there are some mistakes, but is done. Okay. Me and my collaborators, so we didn't do this. So we consider that we had a lot, thousands of places, so that we didn't know where they were. And or people, if we were uncertain of their names and the family and so on. So we simply asked for help. Asked for help, for instance, say, okay, this word, this place, do you know it? Can you help me in order to find it? Okay. And okay, here, this is my mail, okay, that I show you. Here, ricerche, okay, Reggiana. CP Digital. Comments, okay. These are comments and help that people sent me in order to improve the edition. And what I do normally, I receive the mail, I check, okay. So you see here a normal mail, okay. This person say me, okay, in the doc 47, the name Monteferesti is now Montefeltro. Please correct Montefletro, that is in Montefeltro. So only a correction of a really simple mistake. And what I normally do, I check if the suggestion is right. I make the correction and I answer. Okay, this is very simple communication because I know the people say, "I know, okay, dear, thank you." Okay, they're not such things. ending with okay, this is a good, I think, a good solution for when you have one item, also a big one, so a book, a manuscript, 2 manuscripts. You can also do another thing. I show you here. These are the statuti, a law of a place here. Another thing that you can do in AVT is this. This is not perfect. There are some problem. So here I put not only the manuscript but also the translation. This is also the attention of the public, because the municipal law of the Middle Ages and of early modern time normally are in Latin or are in a not easy to read, to understand the language. So in order, but the source is very important, not only for historian but for the community itself. So I choose to find a space for the translation in Italian. So here it's possible not only to read the transcription, but also the translation. One other thing that is all related to the edition of the source I want to show you is this, because as I said before, this kind of edition is good, is very useful, but is not useful when you have a lot of single items to deal with. Okay. Nowadays, a very useful and simpler way to dealing with written sources is a library, an e-library with metadata. And what I think you have just listened from Vittore, said by Vittore, and tomorrow you will learn better with the virtual exhibition and the use of Omeka. But I only wanted to show this as what the Archivio di Stato of Lucca did, but a lot of archives do make this choice. That is, okay, a database organized in a tree. This is a normal structure of quite every archives. And if you can of course make a research but if I choose a place, a part of the archive, non so, vado a caso, this one, and I see there are the division by years, so I'm interested to an item that is in this place. Okay, this is the solution that is of course simpler, okay, but effective in my opinion. It works when you have a lot of pieces, a lot of sources, so you have a strong description with metadata of the item. And when I search on the web, I search in this part of the database. So for instance, I can find this item searching from this name, Cenami or Borgo Sanfrediano, for instance, of Saltocchio, of course, the date. And after this, when I found that what you need, what I need is actually this piece, I can, sorry, this doesn't work because ask me something, but now I have not, but I, believe me, no, maybe I have this solution, not here, not here. Here. This is something that maybe tomorrow you will see. Okay. Okay, this is almost the same. There is here a more description. This is in item. Okay, and then I have the possibility to see the thing itself and to read it. Here I don't have the transcription or all. Okay, if I think from the description above that this thing is useful for me, okay, here I can read it. Okay, so I'm not the complete description, I only a description and then the possibility to read. Here, as you can see, is unwritten, but is very easy to read, no? Angelica Di Stefano da Caprera, sembra, vende, pare, vende del cacio, vende dell'olio, vende delle stoviglie. So Angelica sells cheese and oil and stoviglie, pottery, okay, and so on. I go back and speak with you, please. What you think about? Okay, these are not. I didn't cover all the possibility of the critical edition, of course, but these are the main. So you focus on having the transition with some software and a text encoding in XML, and on the other side you have images and a good description of metadata with this thing with a good metadata apparatus. I think that there are the two good possibility to, if you want to make a digital edition of sources, written sources. Questions, opinions, thoughts, please.
May I?
Yeah.
So thank you. I didn't know these databases and in critical edition online, but I've noticed that in all the projects there are no the images of bindings. I don't know if it's because of
bindings. What is bindings?
Bindings of manuscript, for example, for the Pellavicino Codex. There was not the images of bindings of the codex. I don't know.
There is only the description.
Okay. But I'd like to see also the binding normally when I search for a manuscript. And but my question is another. In EVT technology, is there the possibility to using, for example, the IIIF to create some links between the images and the text in order to link a specific place of the image to the corresponding text?
Yeah, in the version 3 they are setting, yes, there will be.
Okay, thank you.
So you can also here in the here
I understood that you will change the images maybe for the Pallavicino Codex. So I imagine that this will be you will do that in the future because of the images are not so good at the moment.
They are good. They are enough good in order to read them. And okay, and another thing that I think, it is my opinion, you have to do is, okay, this is difficult to do. Let's see if something different is possible. You can also accept something that you don't agree. Okay, these are really good images, not professional. Okay, they did it with a normal camera, and I don't know if I will do it if they allow me to do it. So for now there is, but I know you notice that is here this images. I don't know if you can see there is Archivio. There is a sort of yeah, because one of the big problem with the archive is about the possibility to put online the high definition images. So they didn't want that, but in a digital edition you need the high definition, so you need to enlarge and read the text. So you have to balance, you have to to manage the difficulties. Given that you are not alone, but you are or in a team or chief of the team, you have to be a manager of the project and try to make compromises with all of the people that are around you. Other questions, other observation about this?
Well, if
possible. No, problem.
Please.
Okay.
Vai, Anna.
Okay, no, I just wanted to ask to be sure, as I didn't know the EVT software, so just to understand better how it works. The EVT allows you to work on the images and also to put the text encoded inside it. And then how do you make a website out of that?
Okay.
So maybe I know it's maybe a naive
okay, I show you. Okay, the website is a website. Okay, is a website. This one. Oh. This is a website making WordPress, and it's well made. It seems very. It's simple. It's not simple. It's well made. It works, and it has everything in it you need. But this is a website, simple website made with WordPress. So a CMS, a content managing system that very spread, is open source, and so has a lot of features. And you tomorrow will learn something more on another CMS that is Omeka. It is open source too. But in order to have this, okay, I have to do this. Okay, here is in this part here is my work. So this is the main file, and these are all the docs of the Pellavicino. Okay. There is a script, so a little program that is it is here. Okay, this is that transform all this XML file in something that then I open another software. In this case, I use CyberDuck because there are several. So that allows you to put everything that is in this folder online. So first I do the XML coding, then I transform my work with that script that I didn't wrote it, is someone else did it. And then when everything's okay, because the software tells me if there's something wrong or not, I put everything online. In the moment that is online, everyone can see it. Clear?
Okay. Yes, it's clear. And for example, the creation of the timeline, in which part of the work was done.
Which is the question? I didn't catch the question.
I mean, for example, the timeline.
No, the timeline it's another script.
Okay.
It's another script. So it's another little program that is inside, in this case, inside the website, is here, and allow this. Also for do this, there is to do the list of the signa. And this is one thing that I do when I change something. So for instance, there is a mistake. Now it's all done, but if I notice a mistake, so I correct the XML, I run a little program of transformation, and I put in the website, and automatically the list of the signa are taken.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, so
yes.
Another question, another observation, something else? I go on.
Yes, I wanted to make a question, but was the exact same Anna's made, so that's fine.
Okay, but okay, I know it's clear, but in everything that I can do, my job is working on the XML. So being able to launch this script, not to write it. So if I open this, I see a lot of coding, and I don't, I understand, I think less than enough of this coding. So I am not able at all to correct this item. I only able to use it. Okay, I'm able to open this site, the website. Okay, so dove vai? Stay here, please. Ok, chiudo qua questo perché mi rompe le scatole. Okay, here I have the administration of this site. Okay, so for instance, I can add an article, add a page. Okay, if I go in a page, I'm able to see. So this is the page of the contacts, and I can modify it, so change something, add something in this. Okay, scientifico del progetto Enrica Salvatori. So you see, I put here a così, okay, and here, and if I see it now, I can see that my modification are taken, so I'm able to work on the website. I'm not able at all to change all this structure, to make everything works. I'm able to put to create these voices, this menu, okay, of navigation, but I'm not really able to put everything right in this page in order that there are no problem at all, and so on. So my ability is low, but is enough. Okay, and normally what I do, and I ask for help, but I try also to understand, if I can, if the same mistakes happens, I am maybe able to solve by myself, not asking for external help. But I don't desire to be an expert in WordPress site, and I don't desire to be an expert of text encoding. And I don't desire at all to be an expert of EVT. Okay, this is the concept that I'm very keen that you understand, because maybe yesterday I frightened you a little bit about the complexity of the H project. Yeah, the H project is complex, but you have only to focus on what you want, and in focusing what you need in order to understand and speak with others, and make the others understand you. This is the central point. Okay, not to be a great expert in everything. Okay, also because the world is changing. I go, let me, what should I say of the other things that, okay, let's go on. Only something before discussing. Something that I wanted to say something about a thing that you will do in the second week, that is 3D modeling. Okay, I'm not teaching you anything about how to do a 3D model, but in my project, I actually dealt with a 3D model too. Not be able to do anything, of course. I'm not at all. The only thing that I was able to is building something in Second Life years ago. This is one of our projects, but this was enough. The main things that I think is useful in if you wanted to put some 3D issues in your DH model, DH project is this. You have to think very well about the output, okay? And so what you really wanted to do and why? Okay, because nowadays we find a lot of 3D in the website, but they are not always useful, and normally they are also very heavy to navigate. Okay, so you need a good reason to have a 3D model in your project. And there is also another reason to be careful with 3D. That is a great opportunity, really great, really important, but you need to prepare and to have a clear view of the things before choose this kind of a solution. For instance, this is one of my projects that was a success in, for some reason, a complete failure in other. This is why I wanted to show it, because it's important to learn from our failures. Okay, is the most important things to learn from our failures. This is what you see is on the right side, the ruins in a Roman city near my home, Luni. It was a Roman colony built in 177 AC, before Christ, sorry. It's a domus, it's an important domus. And when we began to work on this domus, what the archaeologists had was the design that you can see on the left bottom. Okay, sorry, a sort of design of how the domus could be in the Roman time. Okay, so a lot of excavation, a lot of data, but only walls and not much more. Based on the outcome of the excavation and of the studies of the archaeologists, with one of my students, a really good one, we did this hypothetical reconstruction of the domus, and actually we wondered, okay, which kind of reconstruction we want to do and why. Okay, so the answer was, we wanted to do it for the museum, for the public. So we don't only made the 3D model, but we put it in an application, a standalone application, where people was able to enter in the domus, meet the owner, and having the owner that accompany you to visit all the part of the domus. This thesis was a wonderful thesis. The student now is working at Scuola Normale Superiore di Pisa. So this was really a great success. But if you go in the museum of Luni, this installation is not present. Why? Because one thing that the management of the digital humanities project comprehend, you have to take care of is have a good relationship, a good reception of the institution that are related to this the project. In this case, their personal relationship with the director of the museum were wonderful, but the functionment, the management, all the complex structure of the cultural heritage in Italy is so difficult, so rigid, that was not possible to have a particular computer inside the museum with this application. So this work doesn't exist anymore, even if it exists in some personal computer. Okay, so another tips, look at what you want to do and where to put it. If the institution, the place, the people that want to use it has the space, the tools, the knowledge, the competences in order to make your work works. Okay. This is one of the, so the 3D needs that you choose. Okay, how I show to the public the 3D model, for what purpose and in which way. Okay, this is a crucial question. Of course, 3D is a particular tool. Okay. In short, really in short, you can say that there are two main issues. That is, to make the 3D model of something that exists but it's difficult to see and to study, or make a model of something that doesn't exist anymore and you use it to show how it was in the past. Okay, these are the two main reasons for that can push you to choose the 3D model in your project. So this was the aim, to show how was really the domus in the Roman time. This is another that I can show you. This is Cenobium. It's not a project of mine, it's of the CNR. And here you can find the 3D reproduction of the capitals of some Romanic abbey. In this case is Aosta. And so you can go and enlarge and rotate and illuminate. You have some possibility. Okay, you can, for instance, here choose the capital and look at you can choose the point of view of the capital and enlarge and illuminate and so on. Of course, this is very useful. It's clear. Okay, here you have the capital of 6 different places, and you don't need to go there. And I don't know even if you go there, if you go into the abbey and go too close to the capital in order to see, to measure, to understand the iconography and so on. This is an answer, or why to use the 3D model in a digital culture project. Of course, here there is not any possibility to participate, but you can also think that it's possible to participate. Now I want to reason with you with the participation of the public. But now a break, I think. Okay. This is a sort of fun, that I could say. So after the break, we will talk about the dealing with the public. Okay. And after a very short, I think, discussion, not explanation of what I mean with dealing with the public, let's discuss a little bit together. But I ask you in this break to think about what we have seen, what I have shown you in this time, and please, if you have doubt or question or consideration, this is the time to do it after the break, of course. Okay? Break of